We bring in now Fox Politics editor Chris Stirewalt, editor of the Halftime Report, and so many other multitasking things.
Yes.
But now about the president.
Yes, ma'am.
So what to this point that Congressman King says there, this might actually be good for the Republicans. You see the president when he goes out and he rallies and he talks about witch hunt. And actually, we have a poll on this, the USA Today Suffolk University poll, where people were asked, do you think the president's right that this is a witch hunt and that they come after you because of politics? Yes, 50%, no, 47%, undecided 3%. How much is he now going to be able to hammer this on the campaign trail for the next 18 months to say, I was proven right?
Well,
on the issue of collusion,
yes,
there's no daylight.
Yes, but. And the yes, but here is, as Congressman King alluded to, it's good for the president to have these enemies. It's good for the president to be able to cast himself as a victim. Robert Mueller, we were told, was a lunatic, hell-bent on bringing down the president at any cost with his 12 or 16 angry Democrats who were rigging this whole thing. Well, it wasn't a witch hunt. And for the president, the problem is he needs a new villain. There has to be a new thing. Now, I think Nancy...
Oh, he's going to have them.
Yeah,
you and I both know they're going to keep investigating.
So to King's point, I think there's truth in that being able to maintain victim status, tell your base, we're at war, they're trying to, this is an existential threat to the presidency. So that in that way, Mueller helped him because there was this background music. A lot of it was negative, of course, but a lot of it was positive for the president as he was trying to keep Republicans together and keep them from breaking ranks.
But how bad would this have been today for him if there was left any shadow, any doubt? I mean, the language could not be more clear on this issue of collusion. And you know he's going to use that as a talking point.
Sure. Well, I mean, look, here's what I expect to happen over the next few days. The report has to come out. And to whatever degree the report is going to come out, and Barr has a choice. Slow walk it or get it out as expeditiously as he can with the redactions that he and Rosenstein and others at the Department of Justice are making now so that it fits within the law and doesn't disclose things that are sensitive topics. But they've got to get it out quickly. Everybody's got to be able to look it over and say, okay, now there will be things that aren't good for the president in there. There will be bad things in there, and Democrats will seize on that as they go through this voluminous document and find out the stuff. So that happens, number one. And then number two, the next thing that happens is, yes, you'll see an investigation here, and House Democrats are going to do that. But the most important thing that happened today was we went over Niagara. We are now in a different phase of the Trump presidency. We are now in a different phase of this moment in American history. And guess what that new phase is? 2020 all the way live. We are now in the real 2020 election because we couldn't get started. We still have a little wrapping up to do, but we couldn't really get started until this was done, and now it's done.
I want to play something from Congressman Jim Jordan, of course, one of the most conservative Republicans on the Hill, about Democrats, how much they love Mueller, and how they may be feeling today.
Go back to May of 2017. All the Democrats, all the Republicans in Washington, D.C. said we need a special counsel. And they got the guy they wanted. They got Bob Mueller, the guy who everyone said is right next to Jesus, can almost walk on water. They got the guy they wanted. He now has his report. It seems like they now think that this is not going to be the bombshell they thought it was going to be. So they're launching all kinds of new fishing expeditions.
Okay, so what about that? I mean, as you said, the president has said Mueller's a bad guy, or that he's put together this team that's unfair to me. Democrats said, no, he's great. We can't wait to hear the report and we can't wait to hear from him. But now they don't seem very happy about the conclusions of the report.
Well, you know, and people in hell want ice water. It's tough out there. The truth is Robert Mueller is an exemplary public servant. He has put together an astonishing career, unequaled in American law enforcement that I know of. And if you go back to his service in Vietnam and his Silver Star and his self-sacrifice and his concept, he has worked as a servant leader in his life. Jim Jordan doesn't like him. The other Republican populists don't like him because they're angry that Donald Trump was troubled and tarried by this. Robert Mueller lived up to what he was supposed to do. He did it thoroughly. He did it fairly, I'm sure. And he got through this process, and he executed, at age 70 whatever, executed one last really noble service to his country, which is giving us some answers to some very important questions.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, I think, and as Barr has talked about all along, he wants to get this out as quickly as possible, as much as he can, without disclosing classified information, or those grand jury information, that kind of thing. So we'll stand by now.
It's going to be fun.
That's our next standby. All right. Good to see you, Chris.
You bet.
Thanks.